Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Right now we're in game number 3 of a 9-game series between Fengzi, one of our top Chinese Zerg players, and BishOp, a very strong Korean pro-Terran. Has been in ASL, is always playing all the big leagues. And so far, BishOp does have the lead 2-0, but it doesn't feel like it's a one-sided 2-0. I definitely think we're going to be seeing multiple Fengzi wins in this matchup. Like, it didn't quite work out with his very aggressive play in the previous game. It felt like BishOp just defended perfectly. And obviously game number 1 was really close and, you know, felt like it could go either way until BishOp really stabilized later on. But a good series so far. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. And I hope that you guys are too. Thank you so much if you are subscribed to ArtosisCasts. If you're not, this is a great time to subscribe. Less than 50% of the people who watch videos are subscribed. So if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Go ahead and subscribe. You know, I have casts being released every single day and a lot of different players being shown off as well. So hope that you're enjoying that. And I hope to keep this channel going forever, man. Anyways, here on Eclipse, you know, this map... Okay, so I think this map changed TVZ, or it fast-forwarded a lot of Terran vs. Zerg, the understanding. So this is the first map where we started seeing Zerg on 3 bases really go for a lot of macro hatches in this area. And that's become kind of standard. Now, the problem with Eclipse for Zerg is the third base. You don't have a third base. Like, on a four-player map, when you think about it, you get a third base that is very close to a fourth base, right? Because you'll take another main or another natural, and then you can very easily, very quickly push and take a fourth base. Eclipse doesn't have that, being a 2-player map, and it's a 2-player map that has been used in countless tournaments and has been on the ladder for like 4 years now. So Eclipse has basically, I feel like just the amount we've seen it has made this problem get figured out for Zerg, and there's a different play style that's used for a map like this. Okay, so you see the drone, it's going up for Fengzi's third base. So this is the standard third base that you're going to see. And obviously it's very easy to defend. You have one tiny ramp. It's not that big, so it's not really droppable. Right, you have lurkers here. They can easily reposition here if there's a drop. It's not a big issue. So this is very easily defendable, but where's the fourth? Where is the fourth, right? These are the 3 bases for Zerg. Well, the fourth base could be one of the ramp ones down here, but that's pretty close to Terran and pretty far from your bases. Or it could be this wide open one over here, which is the hardest base to defend on the whole map. Or it could be the corner base, which is really far away, but does have double geysers, right? So you have all these different things that are options, but they're all harder to get to than, let's say, you know, a 4-player map. And that's what got us into the macro hatches, right? I'm giving a little lesson here. So basically what we normally see here is Zerg power up, get a ton of units, take some map control in the mid game, which is not as common, or if they don't gain the map control, at least they have an army that can actually fight and then take that 4th base location. So anyways, that's kind of the roadmap for what we're likely to see here. Over on BishOp's side, you can see that he's going for a 2 barracks academy rush. We've talked about this build a lot. It's probably the most popular opener for Terran vs. Zerg. It allows you to put pressure on Zerg, and especially in a situation like this, you actually want to go ahead and put a lot of pressure on, try to force sunken colonies at both locations. Now, I'm very interested to see from BishOp if he's going to go factory or additional barracks here, because more recently, we've definitely seen an evolution as Zergs have been doing these 3 hatcheries at 3 different bases immediately, and this is not with a fast layer, right? Like, the layer is delayed quite a bit. But we've seen a lot of Terran players go factory after the 2 racks academy. So basically, the thought process is you push out and you force double sunken, right? So that's a lot of money spent on static defense. But you're teching up because you know they're not going to let you break them. There's no reason to get extra Marines. You can't do any real pressure with them. And then you just get up to, like, whatever it is that you want. Maybe you want Valkyries, maybe you want Science Vessels. Either way, you go up into that immediately. So we'll see what the choice of BishOp is. starts his move out. We heard his scan right there, probably just checking on the layer timing. And now we have to see the Sunkens go up. 1, 2, 1. I mean, sometimes you see him try to skimp. It is up a ramp. Maybe he feels like he can do just one there with his speedlings. Either way, the bio's coming across the map, so he definitely does need to get these morphin. Ooh, the stim from BishOp. And the Lings actually come out and see this. That's a double stim. That's a double stim. That's kind of crazy. These Marines will get one-shotted. Well, not that one. But, yeah. Sunkens do 20 to Marines. So if you do double stim, that can be very dangerous. The Sunkens pop and you're losing Marines very, very quickly. Now, there's the second Sunken colony. In fact, even making a third here just to be super safe. Spire is almost done. So this did basically what we were talking about, and there is that factory. So yeah, BishOp really keeping up with the modern times. Well, obviously, right, he's one of the best Terran players in the world. But going for that fast tech as well. Really, just very nice openers from both sides. And honestly, at first, when I saw him putting the third sunk, I was thinking to myself, that might be a little bit of an amateur move. Maybe he's too scared. But actually, with the small Zergling count and the fact that they're split and he sent up 2 fire bats, you'll break 2 Sunkens in these Lings very quickly with that army. So the third is very, very smart. Now, he's going to try to break this one. I'm not so sure. I mean, the fire bat does God's work right there. Oh my, that's insane. Like how much that just did to those Lings. Just erase them. Now, the flank comes up. This is maybe a problem. We'll see. Mutas are going to be hatching. We have 8 Lings and 3 Mutas coming. Oh, 2 were already hatched as well. Okay, he should be all right. Oh, no. 2 drones, 3 drones, 4 drones. Okay, he loses 4 drones. Obviously, his Lings died. That's not a big deal. The 2 Sunkens kind of did their job. That was an excellent bust. The fact that he got 4 drones, you're happy with that as BishOp. But now he does have to turtle up at home. He needs lots of turrets. This is actually an opportunity for Fengzi. Well, I mean, that's looking at it in an optimistic way. He lost he lost a bunch of drones. But you lost a bunch of armies. So there's, if you fly in, there's not as much support here for anti-muta, right? Now, Ling's running into the natural. Is that going to work out for him? Not really. It wasn't coordinated with the Mutalisks. If those were coordinated well, we actually might have seen that be a valuable move, but instead, Fengzi does lose a few Lings that he's not going to be happy about losing there. Flies in, you know, he has that magical 7 mutas, so ends up killing a decent amount of SCVs, but unfortunately, we hear him lose a muta on the way out. Looking over at his base, Hive has been started. As far as BishOp goes, yeah, he did start his starport. Kind of an interesting location. I haven't seen anyone build the starports here. It's a little bit far away, so it's going to be 2 different screens he's macroing off of, but that's okay. Mutas flying again to that main base, diving for damage. Huh. This did not feel good. This did not feel good. And at the end of it, we still have over 30 SCVs, which is still a good economy for Terran. It's not perfect. Like, obviously, he could use some more SCVs in his main base, and he'll continue to produce them. One thing that does do when you do a dive like that, like you're losing some mutas and you're losing some of the power you would have had on the map, but basically when you kill this many SCVs, which again, it's not so many that BishOp's like super hurt. He's not limping along. He's doing fine. But it makes it so that it takes longer for Terran to add additional barracks. You kind of have to refill the SCVs and then add the barracks. Otherwise, your economy just does not work. So, you know, I'm trying to look at it from a positive point of view here. Spire, or rather, Hive is almost done. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be a greater Spire game. I think that could be really an interesting take on it. You know, sometimes you can really punish them if they're trying to utilize their irradiates on lurkers and defilers and things like that. If you make a few guardians, but it's such a gas sink to do that. This doesn't feel like a good game for that to me. I think he's just got to focus on getting consume up, on getting the defilers out, getting the lurker count up, and getting that 4th base. So Irradiate is on the way, double vessel. He still is on 3 barracks. Going to start adding them now. You can see his SCV count is more manageable now. Up at 37, continue to produce as well. Jumping back to Fengzi's base. Defiler Mound is coming along. Some scans to kind of check where he's at. You can see the drone count is solid in the natural. Looking at the drone count here. Also solid. You know, he's basically just got like 1 per patch approximately. He could use like one more drone over here maybe. And yeah, I mean, it's a good economy that he's recovered into. But look at the amount of Marines. Ooh, kind of a nice volley there, but does end up losing a Muta. Trying to reduce this army size a little bit. We're going to have in about 20 seconds a couple of radiates. So these Mutas that are already pretty bruised, they're going to take a real beating if Fengzi is not careful. It may be time for him to move these back and have them be in like anti-drop formation, right? Sometimes you bring back hurt Mutas like this when the vessels are out, and you sit them in your main base waiting to see if any drops are coming. Now, an irradiate goes down, but it's one of the top Mutas. He does have a hard time splitting it, unfortunately. So a lot of damage dealt to his Mutalisk clump. These are very hurt Mutas at this point. In fact, he should irradiate them again, I think. Yeah. Their Mutas are almost a non-factor at this point. The Marines having some control. We don't actually have those macro hatches I was talking about. Look at the bank of Fengzi. He is up around 1,000 minerals. Okay, he's going to throw one down here. It doesn't matter where you make them. You make them wherever you want. There you go. He's starting to throw down those macro hatches. Maybe just slightly late, but still the right ideas. And you know what? He's fighting pretty well. Like, he's pushing everything back. It's a little bit tough because this army can't really force an engage. They can just kind of move around and kind of zone Terran out from certain areas. Meanwhile, irradiates continue to go down. BishOp is up on 6 racks, just like he wants to be. Has the double engineering bay going. Has double starport vessels going. Very clean stuff. And the amount of irradiates he's got... Oh, no. Oh, no. Loses his first defiler that walks out. Definitely a big mistake there. We don't have a Nidus as of yet. Definitely want to get one of those. Additional macro hatch. So we're going up to 4 macro hatches here for Fengzi. He's going to be putting out a lot of units very, very soon. One kind of key thing that we haven't seen from him yet is reducing the science vessel count. If you lose no vessels and you're just consistently irradiating, eventually you will overpower Zerg, right? As long as you're macroing well. But now, everything I just said there, that's incredibly hard to do. Incredibly hard to do. To do all that at once. Consistently irradiate, keep your army moving around, and macro up your army as well, right? It's like this is the thing that you have to be quickest to do in the game. And you can see BishOp right now over 400 APM. You know, right now, Fengzi on the defense actually down at 200. That's pretty low for someone of this caliber. But it might, I mean, he might just be naturally slowing down and taking his time because he's so defensive right now. Like, he's not ready to move out. More irradiates going down. Even irradiating an Overlord at this point. He hasn't lost any vessels, as far as I can remember. So, definitely a fine play. We do not have an additional command center yet. Ooh, I like that. I like that one lurker there. That's kind of a tricky move. But no command center yet. So, still no additional base. BishOp is up pretty heavily in supply. But now that the macro hatches are out, like, we're going to get a pretty sizable army. Ah! Okay, he's going to go into Hydra Lurker Defiler. Hydra Lurker, and he'll obviously have Sumlings in there. Like, he's got so many macro hatches. You've got to spend, and you've got to have Defiler food. But basically, he'll be plaguing everything a lot. We should see a plague really soon. Where's that plague? There it is. On 5 vessels. Really, really good. And then the Hydras can zone these out very well. And you're basically just plaguing over and over, and then occasionally using Dark Swarm. That's the idea. It's very, very strong against SK Terran, which is what we see BishOp doing here, right? Marine Medic Science Vessel is called SK Terran, and it's pretty weak to this. Like, you can't really kill Zerg, right? Now, that being said, still we haven't had Science Vessels dying, so the amount of irradiates he's putting out is really taxing Fengzi right now. It's really taxing him. He has got to start picking off some vessels. Now, these mutas are actually hunting for those plagued vessels, but they were sent home. If they could find those, they'll kill him so quickly with the bouncing glaives. He checks. These ones are high health, so backs off. And look at that. A couple SCVs coming out to repair. Very good move, but these 5 are basically out of action for a little bit. Now, Fengzi has got to do something. He has got to get something done now. It is time for a 4th base. You can't wait any longer. Like, I guess you could go kind of all in with it, but I don't think it's going to end up working. There's too many vessels left alive. By the way, add-on for this factory and a second factory going down. This is what the standard is right now. When you see someone going Hydra Lurker Defiler, it gets so difficult to kill. Eventually, you expect counterattacks. So you have a big line of siege tanks to try to stop it from jumping in on top of everything that you have. So down goes a nice Dark Swarm, pushing it all back with his Hydras. Just barely not under the Dark Storm there. Good spread here from BishOp. The game very likely to get pretty messy from here. Man, I'm really interested to see if he can push out. Look at this, 158 to 121. That's not bad. That's really not bad. This comp doesn't need that much supply to stay alive. It looks like he's pushing back the bio right now. I can't tell if he's going to try to attack or try to expand. Honestly, I can't tell. He hasn't really shown a sign in either direction. This looks like more of an attacking Dark Swarm, but we'll see. It might just be to zone out units coming down here. Now, running up comes a Defiler. Okay, throws on the Dark Swarm and will burrow a Lurker under. Okay, gets the other two back. Forces everything back once again. It is actually a strat to do this on 3 base and then go for like a massive attack where you just kind of all in at Terran. You just try your best to bust them, but if they hold it, you're kind of dead. It kind of looks like he's going down that route, really. He's got very good upgrades, but he's not getting any more. 1-2 upgrades here on the Lurkers and Hydras to go against the 2-2, and that's very, very reasonable. Continues to move forward. BishOp's spread is so strong, though. He's got his additional base up, a couple siege tanks sitting up there as well. You can see the Hydras targeting down some of the vessels here a little bit, but he hasn't been able to plague them once again. The irradiate counts are out of control. Really, that is what is winning the game right now for BishOp. Some really, really fantastic play from our Terran player. Adding a 3rd factory. This is him, like this 3rd factory is him like starting to close out this game, honestly. Like he slowed this down enough, and it does look like this was with aggressive intentions from Fengzi, and he actually got up to a good supply, but the amount of irradiates that have hit, the fact that vessels just have not really been picked off, or very late they've been picked off. You know, you want to kill vessels early and often in this matchup. You just can't let them continually grind everything down. And now it's like, it's getting rough. We still have the 3 gases, so there's still like a lot of units that can be produced. A lot of Hydras are coming out. How many Defilers does he have? Okay, 2 Defilers in here. The thing is, there's so many Hydras, he can probably zone out vessels from getting any irradiates off. Now, here comes the attack. Okay, there is a chance here for Fengzi. There is a small chance. But, oh god, this counterattack, just killer. Not a single Lurker up here to defend it. So now Fengzi has to win with this, and that doesn't... Like, I feel like he could have done very well here. But with this going on, I think this game is about to end. Really a superbly played game here from BishOp. Fengzi had a lot of the right ideas, I think, but maybe he should have gone a little bit more aggressively after the vessels. Maybe he should have tried to take a 4th base instead of attacking. But either way, BishOp has taken it with this attack. GG.